everyone, how are you? It's Jen from practicalbydefault.com, solutions for the working homeschool mom. And I'm actually sitting here waiting for a phone call, and so I thought, hey, it's a great time for me to do a Facebook Live. Anyways, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while for you guys, is to talk a little bit about teaching teens poetry and homeschooling high school. So I know we've had a few new members in, and they've been asking and wondering, can I really homeschool high school? What do I do if I get a subject that I'm not comfortable with? Or, what if I'm trying to teach them something that they're not interested in learning? So I wanted to share my experience with the subject language arts and the program that we're using. Some things that I'm doing, and kind of give you guys a rundown of the program, how it works, and why I've chosen it. So if you're homeschooling grade 7 and up, go ahead and leave us a comment. Tell us what grade you're doing, how that's going for you, and I hope you can hear me. So if you can hear me, please let me know. So you'll notice in the description that it's currently empty. I'm going to go back and fill in those links for you. So one of the things that people wonder when they go to homeschooling high school was, can you teach the programs that you need to teach, or the subjects? So for me, it was language arts. I'm not really overly confident in teaching that subject. Something that, it's been a few years since I've been in high school, and I don't really remember a lot of the things that I learned. It wasn't really relevant. And so this year in September, we were trying to figure out, I had a program chosen, and my daughter was like, oh, it's so boring, I hate it, and she didn't like the program my son was using. So we went back to the drawing board, and that's when I learned about poetry and a movie. So my number one tip for teaching something that you're not familiar with or not comfortable with is to outsource it. And so this is kind of what this program has done. And it's one of the reasons why I absolutely love outsourcing, is because they take care of all the hard work for you. They give you the lists, they give you the lessons, they have the videos, they have the questions. Whatever program that you're using can be a major relief of stress for you, because you don't have to worry about it. They're going to take care of it. And it's one of the reasons why I love using online curriculum. So this program, Poetry and a Movie, is kind of, it's part online. It's really great for kids who need various ways of formatting of the content so that they can understand it. So there is videos, there are books, which are great for offline learning. There are things that they have to write, or they can type it up. There's worksheets type thing. They get to make these trivia cards. It's really, really neat. And what is really cool is that it kind of helps them learn the connection between poetry and classics to today. So one of the big hurdles, especially with teens, is sometimes they think anything outside their, what am I looking for? While they've been alive is old-fashioned or no longer relevant to today. So this program really emphasizes on bringing the classics and making it relevant to what they're learning and how it's all connected. In fact, it was really neat. We were watching one of the movies, and my daughter paused it and went through of how the poem that she had been studying that month relates to the movie that we watched and how it was relevant today. So if you ever need to know if your kids are actually learning, that's a really great way to do that. I'm trying to think what else. I do have the list of questions of people have been asking me about this program, so I'm going to answer that as well. The really neat thing about it, though, is how online programs work. So sometimes they work in different ways. The way this one works is they break the lessons down into about 3 points. Each month they get one poet to study. And so they talk about how poetry can be approached from multiple angles. So they cover history, form, analysis, and then they break it down into literary elements. And then they learn grammar and other parts of that too. And then they take those elements and they get to make their own poem. And then we get to see how screenwriters incorporate the poems into modern movies. So that's how this one works. Other programs that I've worked with online have a part that you print out, and then a movie that you watch, or a video that they watch, that type of thing. So always check when you're outsourcing things to make sure that the way that they're presenting the material works with the way that your child learns. I always recommend if you can get a hold of a free trial or a preview to make sure that you can take a good look at that. Okay? All right, so what is cool is that in this program you get a list of books. So as I mentioned, we use books and we study a poet for about a month, and then at the end you celebrate by watching a movie. So we weren't able to get all the books. So some we borrowed from the library, some I have on Kindle. If you have the Amazon free app, you can read any e-book on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Your kids can use it, so that's really great. And sometimes Kindle books are a really great deal, or you can borrow them from your library as an ebook as well. So the book that they use for the basis is this one. I did purchase this one because, well, first of all, I had a great excuse for buying new books, which I haven't had in a really long time. So that was fun. But you use this as a reference book. So you can see my daughter has a cool magnet bookmark where she's left off. So this is the first book. It's Poetry Matters, Writing a Poem from the Inside Out. So I really liked it because I don't know much about poetry, honestly. And I don't remember studying it much in school. So I was going to need all the help I could get. So that's one of the books. And then I'll show you some of the books that we have for the poems. And these are not in order that you're studying. They're actually in order of me reaching the books from the stack. So we have this one, Dylan Thomas. And I bought this book from Amazon. And these books I absolutely love. I don't know if you guys have caught, a few people have been asking me about these young people, poetry for young people books. They're amazing. I absolutely love them. This is the one that we just, I think we're in the middle of doing. And so we do our own version of Poetry Tea Time. Poetry Tea Time, kind of in my head, had this like super classy kind of feel to it. You had to have the little tiny teacups and the homemade food, and you had to do it a certain way and light the candles. And that doesn't really work for us because I don't like tea very much. And my daughter doesn't either. So what we do is we have hot chocolate and coffee, and my daughter bakes, or I pick up something at the store, or I open a box of cookies, and we take turns reading. And usually she makes fun of me butchering the poem because that's what I do best. And so it's lots of laughs, and it's a great way to hang out. So in the introduction of these books, they tell you a little bit about the poet, and this is the part I love. So just let me see if I can find. Okay, I know the words are going to show up backwards, but I'm going to show you where it's located. So at the top you see the poem, and then here's kind of like a breakdown or a description of the poem, how it works. And then at the bottom here, you can see they define words that you might not be familiar with. So for this one, it's like lore, and how that means legend, and entreating means request. So it's really, really nice for, you know, sometimes poems, the words change over time, and what they meant then is different from what they mean now. So we have three of these. So we have this one. I like him. And I actually knew this one. And of course, Robert Frost. So those are we have four. I lied. And this one I got is hardcover. I had to get this one because I'm in Canada. I couldn't get it on Amazon at the time of ordering this one. I got it from, it's not Kohl's, Chapters? It's affiliated with Chapters. It's not Chapters, but it's Indigo. That's what it's called. Indigo. And so you can order those online. And I used Ebates, of course, to get cash back. All right, so those are some of the poets that we're studying. And then, of course, you have a list of movies, and I actually have a printable download that you can get. It's totally free, and it's an instant download. I'll link that in the description of the video when this is over as well. Okay, so let's dig into some of the questions that you guys have been asking me about this course. And then if you have anything new, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't. If they don't, I'll hop in later and check the comments so you guys can get your answers. And if I don't know the answers, I will tag Deshelle from Hide the Chocolate, the creator of the course, and she'll hop in and answer them for you. Okay, so the first question that I get is, what age is this for? So this is a high school course. It's designed to be a complete high school credit. So if you have students grade 7 and up, then you're good to go. They should be able to complete the course with little to no help from you. I'm missing half my questions. Okay, let's see. I have the questions. I don't have all the answers. So let's see what I can remember from my research. How long do you have access to this course? So once you purchase this course, you can use it for however many children you want. So if you have more than one, you only have to pay for it once, and then you have unlimited access. You can also use it on any devices. So my daughter can access it on her tablet, or they can use their desktop, or they can use my laptop. So as long any device, it works across. We haven't had any issues at all. Can your child work through this independently? Yes, they can. My daughter does. She does most of the work on her own. Sometimes when she gets stuck or she doesn't understand a question, she'll ask for my help, but 99% of it she does on her own. Of course, we do the poetry reading together, which I need to get more in a routine of doing weekly instead of once a month. And of course, I join her for watching the movies because that's fun. Oh yeah, so how is the course laid out? The great thing about this course is it is self-paced. So each poet is meant to be studied for a full month. If you need more time, you can take it. If you need less time, you can do that as well. So whatever your child is, moving through the material, that's great. If they're speeding right along, wonderful. If they're not, that's okay too. Another great thing about it is it doesn't have a start date and an end date. So yes, it's designed to, work for a full year, 10 months, but you can start it in September, you can start it in December, you can start it whenever you like. Some people like to use it as a summer learning program. So if you want to start it in, whenever your weather warms up, then go ahead and you can end it wherever you like. And the last question is, if you have, or actually there's two more. If you have any problems, there's an email that you can reach out to, and they're really, really good. I couldn't find one of the PDFs. It was a button on the page, but I just couldn't find it. And so I emailed and I was like, hey, where is this? And they had no problem directing me to it. Also, if you need to cancel, you have 10 days. Now it's a digital product, so most digital products you get 0 refunds, but you have within 10 days. If you buy it and you take a look and you're like, nope, I know this isn't going to work, there's no way, then reach out and you can do that. Of course, I highly recommend you using the preview, which I'll link for you, and in the description of the video. So in the description of the video, you will find a link to the course, a special discount code just for members of our group to use. What else did I say? Oh yeah, a link to the preview. And oh yeah, a link to the PDFs that have all the poets that you're going to need, and all the movies. Okay, so I hope I've showed you why I absolutely love outsourcing for high school or for any programs, actually, any age. If you get to something that you're like, oh, I'm just not comfortable with teaching this, I don't really know, don't be afraid to outsource it to either an online course or a physical course, or even finding some sort of program that you can do together with your kids. It's a great way to learn together, to connect with your kids, even just for a few minutes each day. Okay, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments of this video, and I'll pop in and answer them. Okay, have a good day.